Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our subject is General Science. It is lecture number 20 and today our topic is Introduction to Biology and its branches. The outlines of the lectures are introduction about the main topic, and then we will study about what is biology and what are the salient features of living things, and then branches of biology. First of all, what is biology? We all know that this word is the combination of two Greek words. Bios means life and logos means study. So we can say that biology is the science dealing with the study of living things. And in simple words, the word biology is derived from the Greek words, as we have discussed. Bios means life and logos means study, and is defined as the science of life and living organisms. An organism is a living entity consisting of one cell, for example, bacteria, or several cells, for example, animals, plants, and fungi. So, what is the study of biology? Biology is a natural science concerned with the study of life and living organisms. So, modern biology is a vast and eclectic field composed of many specialized disciplines that study the structure, function, growth, distribution, evolution, or other features of living organisms. And as so for the examples are concerned, so definition of biology is the science of all living organisms. And an example of biology is one aspect of science a person will study in order to become a forensic scientist of living organisms as plants and animals, and of viruses. It includes botany, zoology, and microbiology. Now, what are the salient features of living things? Salient feature means they can grow, they can respire. As far as the feature of living things are concerned, so all living organisms share several key characteristics or functions: order, sensitivity or response to the environment, reproduction, growth and development, regulation, homeostasis, and energy processing. When viewed together, these 8 characteristics serves to define life. And what about living things? So, living and non-living things, things which can grow, move, breathe, and reproduce, are called living things. And living things can also feel emotions like anger, fear, and happiness. So, after growing and living for a long time, living things ultimately die. Examples of living things are human beings, animals, and plants. They have autonomic movement. They can reproduce. There are 2 main branches. The branch is dealing with plants, that is known as botany, and the branch that deals with the animals, that is known as zoology. So, biology is connected with the several other sciences, like the first one is morphology. Morphology is the study about the structure of an organism as a whole, like morphology of a fly. Here you can observe that eye, head, aristo, antenna, prescutum, scrotum, scoltium, balances, and so on. We can also define it or explain it that morphology is the study of internal structure of words and forms a core part of linguistic study today. The term morphology is a Greek and is a makeup of morph, meaning shape, means form, and ology, which means the study of something. So, morphology is the study of words. Morphemes are the animal unit of words and have the meaning and cannot be subdivided further. An example of free morpheme is bed, and is an example of a bound morpheme is lie. It is bound because although it has meaning, it cannot stand alone. And if we discuss this word morphology in biology, then we can say that morphology in biology, this is the study of the size, shape, and structure of animals, plants, and microorganisms, and of the relationships of their constituent parts. The term refers to the general aspects of biological form and arrangement of the parts of the plants or an animal. So, morphology is the branch of biology dealing with the study of the form and structure of organisms and their special structural features. So, morphology is the branch of life science dealing with the study of gross structure of an organism or taxon and its component parts. Okay, what is another word for morphology? Sound structure, word structure, syllable structure, these are the other words for morphology. And if we talk about its functions, so the purposes of studying morphology means the internal structure of words and segmentation into different kinds of morphemes is essential to the two basic purposes on morphology: the creation of new words and modification of existing words. So we create new words out of old ones all the times. Then the other is cytology or cell biology. This is the study of structure and function of cells. Cellular biology or cytology is the branch of biology studying the structure and function of the cell, also known as the basic unit of life. The study of cell is performed using several techniques such as cell culture, various types of microscopy, and cell fractionation. Cytology, this is the study of the cells as fundamental units of living things. In 1892, the German embryologist and anatomist Oscar Hartwig suggested that organismic processes are reflections of cellular processes. He thus established cytology as a separate branch of biology. And what is the difference between cytology and cell biology? Cell biology is the study of cell structures, its functions, its reproductions, their regulations. However, cytology is defined only for the study of structure and component of cells. Cell biology, also cellular biology or cytology, is a branch of biology that is studying the structure and function of the cells, and also known as the basic unit of life. Cell biology encompasses both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells and can be divided into many subtopics which may include the study of cell metabolism, cell communication, cell cycle, biochemistry, and cell compositions. So, the study of cells is performed using several techniques such as cell culture, various type of microscopy, and cell fractionation. So, these have allowed for and are currently being used for discoveries and research pertaining to how cell functions, ultimately giving insight into understanding larger organisms. Knowing the components of cell and how cell works is fundamental to all biological sciences, while also being essential for research in biomedical fields such as cancer and other diseases. So, research in cell biology is interconnected to the other fields such as genetics, molecular genetics, biochemistry, molecular biology, microbiology, immunology, and cytochemistry. Branch is histology. It is the study of structure and arrangement of tissues. Okay, what histology means? The microscopic study. The study, especially the microscopic study of the tissues of an animal or plants. The structure of tissue or organ. So, we can say that histology is the study of microanatomy of cells, tissues, organs as seen through the microscope. It examines the correlation between structure and function. Histology teaches the visual art of recognizing the structure of cells and tissues and understanding how this is determined by their function. Histology, also known as microscopic anatomy or microanatomy, is the branch of biology which studies the microscopic anatomy of biological tissues. Histology is the microscopic counterpart to gross anatomy, which looks at larger structures visible without a microscope, although one may divide microscopic anatomy and organology, the study of organs, histology, the study of tissues, and cytology, the study of cells. So, modern usage places these topics under the field of histology. In medicines, histopathology is the branch of histology that includes the microscopic identification and the study of diseased tissues. So, in the field of paleontology, the term paleohistory refers to the histology of fossil organisms. So, what is histology and why it is important? Histology is the study of how tissues are structured and how they work. This is what we have studied. Knowing what a normal tissues looks like and how it normally works is important for recognizing different diseases. So, it also helps in figuring out what causes certain diseases and how to treat those diseases and whether the treatment has worked. The next branch is anatomy. It is the internal gross structure of plants and animals. Anatomy is the identification and description of the structure of living things. It is a branch of biology and medicines. And the study of anatomy goes back over 2000 years to the ancient Greeks, and it can be divided into three broad areas like human anatomy, zootomy, or animal anatomy, and phytotomy, which is plant anatomy. So, if we talk about the human anatomy, so human anatomy is ana means up, to means to cut. So, this is often defined as the study of structure in the human body. So, anatomy focuses on the description of form or how body structures at different levels. Look, body structures functions depends on their form. The way structures work depend on the way they are organized. So, there are some examples of anatomy or human anatomy. Like in regional anatomy, organizes the body into different parts like upper limbs, lower limbs, trunk and back, thorax, abdomen and pelvis, head and neck, and neuroanatomy. And if we talk about microscopic anatomy, then looks at the microscopic structure of tissues and organs. And then there are some other methods like clinical applied anatomy, cross sections, medical imaging. So these are some examples of anatomy. Then physiology. Physiology, it is the study of life processes, growth, respirations, excretions, nutritions, etc. in plants and animals. So physiology is the science of life. It is the branch of biology that aims to understand the mechanisms of living things from the basis of cell functions at the ionic and the molecular level to the integrated behavior of the whole body and influence of the external environment. Then ecology. It is the interrelationship of the organisms between themselves and their environment. Ecology is the study of the relationship between living organisms, including human and their physical environment. It seeks to understand the vital connection between the plants and animals and the world around them. So, ecology is the study of how organisms interact with one another and with their physical environment. The distribution and abundance of organisms on earth is shaped by both biotic living organisms related and abiotic non-living or physical factors. The other branch is genetics. It is the study of heredity and variations. Genetics is the study of heredity. Heredity is a biological process whereby a parent passes certain genes onto their children or offsprings. Every child inherits genes from both of their biological parents, and these genes in turn express specific traits. So genetics is the branch of biology concerned with the study of genes, genetic variations and heredity in organisms. Though heredity had been observed for Malino, George Mendel, a scientist, and Augustinian Freyer, working in the 19th century, was the first to study genetics scientifically. Mendel studied trait inheritance patterns in the way traits are handed down from the parents to the offsprings. So he observed that organisms inherit traits by way of discrete unit of inheritance. So this term still used today is a somewhat ambiguous definition of what is referred to as a gene. Now the next branch is taxonomy. It is the systematic classification of plants and animals. Taxonomy is the science of naming, describing and classifying organisms and includes all plants, animals and microorganisms of the world. In biology, taxonomy means arrangement and also called method. And a scientific study of naming, defining means circumscribing and classifying groups of biological organisms based on shared characteristics. Organisms are grouped into taxa, means singular as a taxon, and these groups are given a taxonomic rank. Groups of given rank can be aggregated to form a supergroup of higher rank, thus creating a taxonomic hierarchy. The principal ranks in modern use are domain, kingdom, phylum. So these are some classes. The next is paleontology. It is the study of ancient organisms through the fossils of plants and animals. Then biochemistry. Biochemistry is the branch of science that explores the chemical processes within and related to living organisms, and it is a laboratory based science that brings together biology and chemistry. By using chemical knowledge and techniques, biochemists can understand and solve biological problems. Then biophysics is there. Biophysics is the study of physical phenomena and physical processes in living things on scale spanning molecules, cells, tissues, and organisms. So, biophysics physicists use the principles and methods of physics to understand biological systems. Then there is a biometry. Biometry is the process of measuring the power of cornea and the length of eye and use this data to determine the ideal intraocular lens power. If this calculation is not performed or if it is inaccurate, then patient may be left with a significant refractive error. Then aerobiology. Aerobiology, this is a branch of biology that studies our organic particles such as bacteria, fungal spores, very small insects, pollen grains, and viruses which are passively transported by the air. Agriculture is there. Agriculture is the science and art of cultivating plants and livestock. Agriculture was a key development in the rise of sedentary human civilization, whereby farming of domesticated species created food surpluses that enabled people to live in cities. Then horticulture. Horticulture is the agriculture of plants, mainly for foods, materials, comfort, and beauty for decoration. Horticulturists apply knowledge, skills, and technologies to grow intensively produce plants for human food and non-food uses and for personal and or social needs. So their work involves plants propagation and cultivation with the aim of improving plant growth, yields, quality, nutritional value, and resistance to insects, diseases, and environmental stresses. Then fisheries. A fisheries is an enterprise of raising or harvesting fish and other aquatic life. Commercial fisheries include wild fisheries and fish farms, both in fresh waters, about 10% of all catch, and oceans, about 90%. Then forestry. Forestry is the science and craft of creating, managing, using, conserving, and repairing forest, woodlands, and associated resources for human and environmental benefits. Forestry is the practiced in plantations and natural stands. Then medicine is there. So medicine is the science and practice of establishing the diagnosis, prognosis, treatment, and prevention of disease. So medicine encompasses a variety of healthcare practices involved to maintain and restore health by the prevention and treatment of illness. So this was all about this lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.